16th century Japan. Brave men ride into battle, fighting an evil emperor. With their only hope, a golden scepter that can open the gates of time itself. Now, in their darkest hour, come 4 brave fighters from another time, another place, another species.
You were expecting maybe the Addams Family?
They're back, and they're back in time.
Hey, Dad, check it out! We're in Shogun!
Once before, demons defeated my ancestors. Now they've come back for me.
Talk about your quantum leap!
My cannons can destroy these monsters, my lord.
Uh-oh, this doesn't bode well. I love this stuff!
How are we gonna get home?
Silver! Somebody dial 911.
I have a feeling we're gonna be here for a very long time.
Another Silver!
This is the worst rescue I've ever had.
I think I swallowed a frog. I hope it wasn't an ancestor.
New Line Cinema presents
A Legorama. Sweet!
the 4 greatest turtles
Hey, all right. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
ever to go down in history.
It's just your ordinary time travel equal mass displacement kind of thing. Kids.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Help, I'm a turtle and I can't get up.
Hey, Sassy.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I feel drizzled.
I think you're a liar.
A little.
We just watched a really bad movie.
That movie was fucking great.
That movie had all of us wiggling in our seats and wishing for your brother's like, can nuclear winter come now?
Yeah, he was hoping to die.
Hey everybody, this is Beer and Bad Movies, and we just watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3, Turtles in Time.
And you know what they say, third time's a charm.
Exactly. So, before we get into anything real quick, we're going to give you a little update. So because of time restrictions and schedule restrictions,
Blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
me and Sassy are going to be expanding the Beer and Bad Movies hosting duties.
Yeah, just to get other people who are also involved with...
Yes,
people have the patience to watch a bad movie. I'll put it that way.
completely, because like my work schedule kind of is a pain in the ass versus Sassy's, who we record at his place. And on top of that, my living schedule, I'm going to be moving pretty soon. So we're going to be kind of like, you know what? Let's go ahead and expand. So you're going to see combinations of maybe Sassy and somebody else. Maybe
and we're going to add another channel to this. So
We'll get to that at the very end of the episode. That's not as important as, number 1, this movie, and number 2, our expansion.
No, your expansion's definitely not as important as this movie.
It's not. Yeah,
That's horrible.
I edit the episodes at my place, but of course we record them at Sassy's place. So it's just it makes it more helpful for us to work with others. We're gonna still work with each other, most definitely, but we're going to work with others so that we can have more episodes of this great podcast.
Yeah.
Now that being said, if you're looking at the title of this episode, you're watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3, Turtles in Time. There's a fucking reason we are watching this.
Because fucking Uday Joe chose it.
I'm back to DK.
Good.
Yes, DK Murphy, ladies and gentlemen. No, so I noticed years ago that there are several franchises that when it comes to the third movie, they have to have a gimmick. They have to have something new, something fresh, something different that really annoys the fuck out of me. So the next 3 episodes are called Revenge of the Three. I'm going to give you an example with this episode. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3, Turtles in Time. Who the fuck said let's take Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and put them in the fucking past?
I'm going to say it was some kind of a child predator. He was like observing art, and he was like surrounded. This is what I think. and he was like just
Give
kicking
it to me. Give it to me.
Like probably on acid or adrenochrome. He's just tripping. He's like, oh man, checking it out in the museum. He's like, it'd be great is if all these artists got together and then like he saw some turtle art and he put all of them together. This is the only way it makes sense because who the fuck thought of teenaged Mutant Ninja Turtles? Teenagers, by the way.
Yeah.
So when do we see the first one? Then the second one. The third one rolls around. Guess what? They're 18 or older. They're no longer teenage.
Like, how long can they really be teenage?
Exactly. It should be fucking legal age Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Young adult.
Yeah, young adult.
Miss Sassy. Okay, yeah, so for those of you who actually don't know about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, let's give a quick rundown.
You poor bastards.
I know. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a comic book
Let's get this out of the way. First of all, the people who haven't seen it, they've been emotionally abused and should call a hotline. We should have the
child protection services?
Yeah.
No, yeah, completely, because this is a great franchise. If I'm correct, the Ninja Turtles comic book started in 1979. They were created because the creators wanted to show that a comic book can be made out of anything. So it's like, what can we make a comic book out of? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And
that's how they thought that?
Yeah, it was very much just like, you got to make the most extravagant thing and make it a comic book. And that's what they did. And in the comic book, it's not like radioactive ooze that turns them. It's actually space ooze from a meteor.
That makes more sense. Like life form from another. Yeah.
Very, very, very Venom-like,
Yeah.
So there's the comic book that was a big hit in the 80s. The first movie, fucking perfect. And I can't say anything bad about the first
Sam
one.
Rockwell, shout out. Hey, he's an Oscar winner right now, right?
He is.
There you go.
He's an Oscar winner and a 2-time nominee.
Oh, yeah, that means shit, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah. Sam Rockwell is in the first movie, and the first movie, it's pretty dark. It's not horrible.
It is dark.
But like,
it takes place in a sewer.
It takes place in a sewer. Yes. There's comedy, there's action, there's adventure, and I'm just gonna say it right now. That
sports.
The bonfire scene.
Oh yeah.
Fucking gets me every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Part 2, very cartoonish.
Tells you where we are, ladies and gentlemen, as a society.
Yeah.
Where, nothing really, like, I laugh at the Titanic scene. But by golly, if you put on Ninja Turtles Part 1 and put me in the fire scene, I'll cry.
Yes, very.
Like, I'll laugh at the Green Mile loud. Yes. Don't you dare put on Turtles Part 1. You break me down.
You know what's so bad about what you're saying? You're not fucking wrong.
No, it's...
I'll watch Green Mile where Duncan dies.
Oh yeah, I can't help it.
I'm kind of like, whatever. But then I watch I watch the bonfire scene. I'm like, oh my god, my heart. Mm-hmm. And I'm just watching guys in animatronic suits and then an animatronic rat.
My wife's like, what's wrong with you, honey? I'm a splinter.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. Part 2 is kind of meant to be this continuation where it's almost the very next day of part 1, where in part 1, it's more of a a origin story. You have the Turtles, you have the Foot Clan, you have Shredder, and at the very end, Shredder dies, but he doesn't. Because in part 2, he was just massively deformed. Part 2 is all about Shredder getting revenge, and he creates these 2 mutated creatures, Toka and Razar, which is basically Bebop and Rocksteady for us.
Yep, that pretty much was. They were trying to recreate them.
Yeah.
I did enjoy them, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I love their creation.
Yeah. For some reason, since 1979 when they made the first Superman movie, till like 1998, you would have a comic movie, but it would just be a comic movie in name. Origins and people, characters would have totally different stories. So it's like you're seeing Secrets of the Ooze, and you see those shadows on the trailer, and you're thinking like you're gonna see Bebop and Rocksteady. No, you see Toka and Razar, and it's like for some reason they just didn't want to make the originals.
Yeah, it chaps my ass that it's like there's so much like, and this is just real. It tells me there's got to be something to this. I'm not just some fucking kook. I probably am, but on top of the fact that there probably is something to it, that it's much cheaper to use practical effects and there's a lot of practical effects people who live within our city,
Oh, yeah.
or at least in 2 cities, and they do very good work for inexpensive. Like they do fairly cheap work. There's no reason to not hire practical effects people and supply people locally and give them jobs. It tells me the reason they use CGI is because I think they don't have any creative bone in their body.
I would agree.
And I still give this movie props for as horrible.
You mean part 2?
No.
Part 3?
This part 3 piece of shit.
Okay.
Is it for as bad as all these movies were, they still had practical effects.
They do.
You know what I mean? Oh, and they had no choice.
They had no choice.
that aside.
Well, I've actually been preparing for this episode for about 2 days.
You've seen these other turtle things that have come out since.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen the sequels, the remakes, the animated version. But I've been thinking about this episode for a while because I downloaded it the other day, and I'm trying to think like, whose idea was this? Who thought, let's take the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and put them in feudal Japan? But like, why? What
voice actors? Maybe there's like a secret underground layer of voice actors who need work.
What is it that like they had to do this project? Because let me tell you this. The Turtles have a whole gallery of characters that they could fight with.
Oh yeah.
The Rat King.
I would have loved to use a Rat King because if I would have been able to do Turtles as a movie, I would have used the Rat King to turn Splinter on them until Splinter like broke his thing.
Oh yes.
That would have been a cool ass plot to a movie.
Awesome, yes.
And then it's like, oh, who do you get the idea from? Oh, guess what? There's like, they need to have their version of a Joker or their version of like a Lex Luthor. It would have been Shredder. Oh, there's probably Shredder behind the Rat King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hint to it. Don't tell them there is.
It would have been such an easy thing to make, but I mean, I don't know why they did that. And also,
To shit on us.
Baxter Stockman.
There's always flies in sewers.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
And this came out in
I would have got Cat Williams to play him.
Well, he wasn't around back then. But
or Lil Wayne.
Baxter Stockman was like the human fly, and what happened only 5 years before? The Fly remake with Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, that's right.
Wouldn't that have been fucking awesome?
To get Jeff Goldblum as Baxter Stockman.
I'm not saying get Jeff Goldblum, but like the connection where they make this nasty looking
trying
fly
desperately to
character.
get someone as Baxter Stockman here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, see, here's the funny thing is that they made Baxter Stockman in the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
And who played him? Patton Oswalt?
No, it was Tyler Perry.
Close enough.
He was nerdy, but they didn't do anything with him, so it really bothered me because Baxter Stockman is such a cool character.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh my god, right? Like, that piece of shit.
That was a good one. All right, so let's actually talk about the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time. Yes. Oh, by the way, Mr. Sassy.
Yes.
Would you mind popping your dog?
Oh, I would love to.
And I shall do mine.
Oh, yours is a little louder than mine.
I guess so. Cheers. Yeah, I actually kind of was like, oh wow,
people like when you drink in the microphone.
Yeah,
So
I kind of was like, oh wow, we hadn't popped our dogs for like 10 minutes now. I got a hair.
that's from the dog.
I guess so. So, Turtles in Time. Almost from the get go, this movie is
Now,
like.
I got a question. Do you think that they decided on time first, or do you think that there was like a whiteboard and it's like Turtles in L.A., Hawaii, space, and last but not least, time. And they're like, everyone voted space, and they're like, that's a good story, and that's a lot of CGI.
A lot of blue screen.
Yeah, we just don't have that. And somewhere Corey Feldman's like, well, we could totally do time, and they're like, I'm with you. Give me a blowjob at the end of this, Corey. Like, all right. That's how I'm thinking this went down.
So I was thinking about like, why was this movie made? Like, what was the desire for this movie? And I actually came up with a good reason.
You never actually found a conclusive scientific reason?
No. But it's a theory. It's a theory. It's a cash grab.
Of course.
Actually, all three of the movies we're going to be looking at in Revenge of the Three is a cash grab. Check this out.
And a crotch grab.
It's just think about Part 2. They did a lot of on-site filming, on-location filming, studio filming, They got Vanilla Ice.
That was a darker movie.
Ooh, that's a good one, bitch. So that movie did not make as much money as they were hoping for, especially for how much money they spent. Now think about this. Hey, I think we can milk the Turtles franchise a little bit more, but how do we save money? I've got it. Instead of filming in the city, we go to the forest area, say it's feudal Japan, put up a few fake huts, and boom, we've got Japan.
You know, all those Chinese immigrants have been landing on the beach? Yeah. Let's set up shop around them. And when they land, we give them clothing and food. We tell them that the movie set is their new home.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
It just feels like...
I think after the movie got done, they just left and all those people were living on set and didn't know what to do. And
you know what I noticed?
Stuck there fending for themselves.
You know what I noticed about this movie? So the opening has the turtles in their full costume, but there is a good bulk of this movie where all of their costume is just their head and their hands, and then they're in those honor guard outfits.
I think it's like a Jaws thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, first off, let's be honest. The animatronics in this movie are fucking terrible.
I'm thinking that they dressed up. I think that they had taken... Okay, remember when, if you guys were ever happy kids at any moment, and you're listening to this and you were at Chuck E. Cheese at any point.
Oh, yeah.
Not in the basement. Then...
Excuse
me. Then you'll excuse Joe for that. Yeah. Then you'll know that basically Turtles 3 was filmed with... They just threw this rubber skeletal thing over like those robots that were at the Chuck E. Cheese things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Even Splinter's dirty ass. He looked like an old rug. And they were... Oh, God, he was disgusting. He was really... I wanted to turn it off.
Did you ever notice that you never saw a full body Splinter? You just saw like
you're right.
Upper chest and that's it.
Yeah.
And if you Splinter is like Splinter looks like one of those Chuck E. Cheese singer characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you notice, you only see Splinter from the upper chest up, and he moves like one of those Chuck E. Cheese characters. And if you know, here's a more better update. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very like clank, clank, and I'm like, this is creeping me out. I can't do it.
And then every time he said something, his eyes, and I counted, they would to his left. They would move to his left or our right, hard, like a hard one. They would be like, ho ho ho, and then he would respond. Like whoever made the robot didn't like. However its processor was, it couldn't process eye movement and hand movement, like basic shit that they have nowadays. So now we have dogs that'll run up a hill and bust out a cake maker and make it while hunting you. Yeah. And they couldn't even get Splinter to do a basic hand movement and an eye roll at the same time. It was very disturbing to say the least.
Let's before we get into the full shitting on this movie, the good one. All right.
You're going to need a diaper for this one.
The plot.
That's going to be the opening. I'm going to use that in the opening.
Go ahead. The plot of this movie. So, April O'Neil is about to go on vacation. And
Yeah, I really also, by the way, do not like this April O'Neil.
You didn't like her?
Nope.
Compared to the first one?
Nope.
So the first one you like better?
Yeah.
Okay. Even though she's brought back for 2 of them, so she's 2-1.
I don't care.
Okay.
Shit. When you're shit, you're shit.
You are, yeah.
Yeah.
But so the plot is that April O'Neil is about to go on vacation, so she comes down with all these bags from a flea market with stuff to kind of like keep the turtles occupied. Meanwhile, they're kind of like getting antsy. They want to get out. They want to go on the streets, whatever. Which, by the way, why the fuck couldn't they do that? They did that in the first one. Raphael went to the movies in her trench coat.
AKA Black Market, which means April O'Neil is pro-Black Market. What are they trying to tell us? So April O'Neil, right, supposed to be this like Lois Lane of the sewers.
Yeah.
So she's really like, I guess you could say she's the shitty Lois Lane.
She is. She's kidding up all the time. Well, so is Lois Lane, but never mind. Anyways, so one of the things she has to give the turtles, to give Splinter, is this weird, it's giant thing. She doesn't know what it was, but she bought it. I don't know why she bought it, but she did. and it turns out to be the thing that's like the time travel device. And out of nowhere, it starts activating. And she's like, guys, what's going on? Ah! And she gets transported. Meanwhile,
So how did she buy it? Like,
as though she said at a flea market.
yeah, but I mean, like, how did the guy sell it to her? Like,
He's like, $5.
$5 for this old lamp.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I believe it was $5.
yeah, $5 for this. And she's like, oh, hey. And it looked like it had a fucking fidget spinner in there. It was really horrible.
Yeah, it did look like I have a fidget spinner. So, like, that was it. Yeah. And she gets transported. Meanwhile, the Shogun, or I'm sorry, the Emperor of the area, I forget, Master Natsu, I can't remember his fucking
Evil
name.
Asian man, number one.
Yes. His son gets transported.
Evil Asian man,
and at first
number
he's
two.
like, what's going on? And then Splinter says something in Japanese. He's like, oh, okay, you know something, I'm going to pass out. They figure out that basically this thing that April O'Neil bought was a time travel device. But you know what always pisses me off? Oh yeah, it's time travel. It's also destination travel. They're going from New York to Japan.
Yep.
And they switch clothes.
And they switch clothes,
Yeah.
which tells you that matter doesn't matter where they're going, and it's going to fit your clothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
But they also take some
Wow.
of
I mean, this is pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, there are some PG issues with it where they talk about how you're going to be in our clothes. So the Michelangelo goes like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to put this
Louis Vuitton Speedo.
yeah, Louis Vuitton Speedo on so that my guy doesn't show up naked."
Yeah.
But then again, they all show up wearing a kind of weird vest
Yep.
thing. Whatever, but
But then we killed everybody.
yeah.
No, you can see that it's derailing. But so we get to the point where it's obviously it's just one of those classic movies where you see like Back to the Future, they go back in time, and hey, what do you know? There's Marty, and someone looks just like Marty. Well, hey, there's Casey Jones, but in 1600. So it's like how many, you know?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be like Casey Jones.
Holy
ancestors
shit,
or something.
1679. So it's like 3 centuries ago, almost 4, and these guys are over here just. Hey, you look just like Casey Jones, but you have a shitty Australian/English accent.
It really bothers me that this is where the franchise. This is what I'm trying to get at. This is why I think this movie was made. They can milk a little bit out of the Ninja Turtles franchise and not spend so much money. They basically no city, no filming in New York, no filming in big cities. Just they're in the fucking forest.
Yeah.
Most of the part. And let me bring this up. I've got something for you. And Eddie Sassy Jr. has been asking about this. Okay, I want to show this to you. The budget for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3,
Yeah.
$21 million.
Wow. Someone shoved a lot of money up their ass.
The gross,
$300 million.
$42.2 million.
That's a lot of money back
This
then, I guess.
movie doubled its profit.
It's pretty good. Imagine
Yeah.
if they had DVD sales back then. Shit, they probably would have been $100 million.
No, this include VHS sales.
That's what I'm saying. Back then, that's VHS, which costs a lot more to make. If I'm saying that there were CDs, it would have been like 10 cents to produce every new one of them. Way easier. They would have made more money.
This movie was just
Kevin Smith, man, you make a lot of money on
This
DVDs.
movie was so annoying and boring. The Turtles, they do some fighting, which they didn't do in Part 2, but it's not enough.
It bugged me. There's this like I marked it down as a pet peeve that they go, and you see this in a lot of movies where time travel, then you have this whole whatever you want to call it, but there's this montage type thing where it's like I have to get you culturally appropriated. And that used to be a thing in movies where it's like, hey, if you time travel, you have to catch up to date. And yet we live now in a country where if you say the wrong things, you get polarized for it, and everyone's like, you're a racist or a bigot. It's like, dude, we grew up on movies where we appropriated people. People had to adapt. They had to learn English. And these movies, they go back in time and they're using slang with ancient Japanese people, and they're like, they get it.
Wet
Boom.
Willie.
Yeah, Wet Willie. Oh, God. Wow, fuck. Yeah, that happened.
I would like to say, I would like to let it be known that
Encino Man montage they had.
Yep. Not only did me Mr. Sassy, Miss Sassy, Sassy the Second.
Fuck you.
Everybody just looked at this movie and was like immediately annoyed. But not like annoyed where it's like, can we change the channel? It was like, do we really need to watch this? And I was the only one that's like, damn it, we're gonna watch it.
Hey,
I was like an angry Vince McMahon.
I was with you. I didn't want to, but I was
There's
with you.
about 6 times where I thought I should punch Jones.
So, what was your favorite part of this movie? It's funny.
This is quite surprising, but there is one fucking part in this movie where I was like, hell yeah.
You enjoyed it.
Casey Jones. Not all of Casey Jones is the only part of this movie where I enjoy watching Alessa Koissa, Casey Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Because, first off, he was really just a watered-down version of himself, but he had my favorite line of the fucking movie.
Where's the bathroom?
So, no, there's the mix-up where they assume that the time device is in a church or a temple, and the people that would be holding it would be priests. And then when they time travel, instead of being priests that come back, it's the honor guard, which are meant to be there in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just goes,
The scepter was not in the temple.
There must have been a battle.
I knew it. I'm missing all the fun.
I'm like, that is a Casey Jones fucking line. He loves fighting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was just been ours. I wanted to shake his hand and go, thank you, sir. You made me smile for a second.
Oh, we're getting booze. This movie was so bad that if you compliment it once,
bad. Yeah,
you compliment this movie once.
One thing.
Yeah, damn, that's pretty bad. So I also had a problem with Shitty O'Neil being
Yoshi.
Yeah, Yoshi. No, April O'Neil being clever and cutting her badass samurai thing into a short skirt, to look more feminine.
Yeah, I guess.
And then she doesn't cut her shitty big wonky sleeves that clearly get in the way of fighting. And
She looks like a hobbit later.
so she looks like a she looks like a retarded homeless hobbit. These hobbits didn't look homely enough.
You know what's funny is there are so many
shitty boy haircut. She had all.
There
that
are so
going
many
on.
messes ups. Like for example, Donatello is fighting with his staff made of wood with people who have swords.
Yeah.
And they're not breaking his fucking staff.
Well, because he comes from time, he can't be killed.
Oh, good lord.
Yep, I'm gonna defend time here and say time decided that.
His wood is stronger in the future than in the past. You know?
It's a joke. It's a joke. They're saying my wood is stronger than your steel.
Man.
That's the director being like, that's my wood. Or the Corey Feldman being, you know what I mean, my wood.
Yeah, that is one thing that like kind of annoyed us is that like Corey Feldman's voice
in Rehab. That's Rehab Corey.
That's Rehab Corey, and it's just not
That's
a good
not
version.
Rehab Corey.
Yeah, it
That's
is
clearly
Rehab
no.
That is clearly.
It's clearly.
Come over here.
It's
Come
clearly.
the fuck over here and
It's clearly
talk.
Rehab Corey.
Come here, Sassy Jr.
There's clearly the Rock Corey, goddammit. Not fucking
fucked
Rehab.
In 1993, he was back in rehab, and he was relapse Corey. Relapse Corey.
That's true. Eminem would have used him on an album back then.
Yes,
if he was a thing back then.
And just like, it's such his voice. Remember when he was Donatello in the first one?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that thick of his voice?
It wasn't. And he wasn't trying to be all like Juno and catchy and witty.
Yeah.
He was saying his lines as the smart turtle who's still California. Like, why are they California surfer types when they're in New York? And Raph is the only one who fits that MO of a New York.
Big time.
He's got the attitude, everything. So it's like, what the fuck happened to you other three?
Completely. Oh, this.
If anybody has a problem, it's the other fucking three turtles, not Raph.
This was something I wanted to bring up that like I didn't tell you guys about. So at a certain point, I said stop the movie.
Which one?
I said stop the movie. I want to see how long it's been. And we paused it, and it was like 13 minutes.
13, the evil
So
number.
in 13 minutes, this is my thing. In 13 minutes, we are introduced to the time MacGuffin. April disappears, and we get the Emperor's son. And again, in 13 minutes, Raph goes, so we gotta go back to the past and save April? I'm just like, holy shit, all that in less than 15 minutes? Fuck! Like, no one's freaked out? No one's concerned?
Moral to the story should be do not shop at a flea market.
I guess so!
And if we've learned anything from watching Gremlins Part 2,
right,
or 1, don't go to flea markets that involve ancient Chinese or Japanese shit like relics, because you're probably going to get gremlins or end up back in time. Like, that's my warning to anybody listening to this. Who's still listening to this.
You're still listening.
I mean, if you've watched Turtles 3, you're probably still listening to this. That's the truth.
Anyways.
You look close to pulling that revolver bullet. Just put the gun down. You remind me of Riggs. Put it down.
So the plot is they go back in time to save April, but they lose the time MacGuffin right away, along with Michelangelo, who is taken by the rebels. And basically, it's about the rebels of this town fighting the Emperor or whoever, along with Walker.
They're made up rebels because we never see the rebels, by the way. So
Walker, who is he's this Englishman who's trying to sell gunpowder and guns.
Now, that guy also strikes me as I swear to you, he could be what's his name's brother. It's not unusual. That guy.
Wayne Newton?
No, not Wayne Newton. It's not unusual to blow.
That's a Wayne Newton song.
That's not Wayne Newton. No, it's not.
Tom Jones.
Thank you. That's Tom Jones, and he looks like he could be Tom Jones' brother, like spot on.
Okay.
Who's Wayne Newton?
Wayne Newton is a little guy who looks like Regis Philbin with black hair.
He's a Vegas guy.
And
He's
way too much.
Sole Vegas guy. He's
Isn't
born.
that what Tom Jones looks like?
No.
Yeah, but Tom Jones got famous.
Oh.
Anyways. So this guy's name is Stuart Wilson. He was in Hot Fuzz as the Doctor.
Yep, I remember that.
Lethal Weapon 3.
Remember
Mask
that.
of the Zorro, I never saw. Enemy of the State, I don't remember him in that.
I remember that.
And that's about it. It was some small stuff. But, so he's actually like the big bad.
Yeah.
And he's boring.
Very boring. He has a shitty, raspy voice. He tries really hard to be... it looks like he's trying... Goddamn, his teeth were so white in this. I couldn't take him serious as a bad guy.
Very white. Even I was kind of like, whoa.
I don't care if I'm in Friends movies, B movies. I'm going to put at least, charcoal in my teeth to make myself look like I have rotten teeth. So someone's like, hey, who is that guy? He was awfully dedicated as a nobody. Mm-hmm. You look at this guy, and for someone who got a fucking, pretty good role... He had to make sure he was not grinning, but what was he doing? Snarling at people.
He was mugging.
So yeah, so you can just see his teeth, the glisten he uses. That son of a bitch.
You know who I thought he was?
My dad.
I actually thought that he was the guy that played Rex Manning in Empire Records. Remember that guy? Say no more, moon more. No.
You're going to edit this out.
Yes, I will. But, so, eventually they find Michelangelo. They become friends pretty quickly with everybody. Who, by the way, everybody speaks frickin' English in Japan.
Yep. And they get all of our little witticisms they do.
Yeah.
Yep.
They make pizza, and it's like he makes a bad pizza. You think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who love pizza would know how to make pizza no matter fucking what.
You would think.
Yeah.
And then, here's something I noticed in any movie. Please mental note this too. I'm giving you guys good stuff here. This is at least 30-something years of me learning this. So if you're 5 years old and you got access and somehow you're listening to this, God bless your heart. Notice that time travel, doesn't matter what movie it is, you'll always see piles and piles of trash flying around, and that's right before something with a time shift. So my note to anybody,
the always constant circle of
trash. Any movie where time travel is involved, you'll see wind and piles of trash circling, a bright light. That's how you know to stay away from any of that.
Real quick, before we kind of almost finish this episode. So there's the subplot of Casey Jones in the present with the honor guard, and he's trying to teach them like to fight or to like hockey. He's trying to keep them calm. And at the very end, he takes them to a bar where they're dancing to Tarzan Man. Remember that song?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sadly.
Yeah.
It's free. Anybody could use it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's not a great song. It's kind of a catchy song, but not a great song. And it just, I don't know, like, was that necessary? They didn't need fucking Casey Jones for that shit.
Is drinking Mountain urine necessary?
You piece of shit.
No, this movie definitely goes above and beyond the call of unnecessary. Time and time again, they even have a blacksmith try and recreate this horrible.
Oh yeah, he's trying to remake the staff.
Yeah,
but like that just doesn't seem to work.
No, not
like,
at all.
Even in general, I mean.
God, I don't know what they were trying to do. I mean, I feel like I'm reaching trying to explain it to you guys, but again, it's a bad movie. God.
You know what? Here, I'm gonna put it like this. Because we're getting close to the end. This is how I level.
Wait, I got a real pet peeve. It was Raph's voice.
What about
Raph's voice? Pissed me off, man. It really threw me off. It was like the dude's rug. It threw off everything. It was like Raph's voice. You know what I mean? Like there's something when you listen to the other two movies where he didn't have that Raph voice. Jose Canseco, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, because it wasn't the same voice actor. Did you know the voice actor was actually on screen in the movie?
Yeah, he is the guy with the pizza.
No. The voice actor of Raphael in the first movie is in the taxi cab when Raphael chases after Casey Jones and gets hit by a taxi cab. The guy goes, "What the heck was that?" And then the taxi driver goes, "Look at a big turtle in a trench coat. You're going to LaGuardia, right?" The guy in the back who says, "What the heck is that?" That's the voice actor.
I thought the voice actor was the guy who was the pizza delivery man.
No, I don't know who the fuck that was.
Yeah, I think that's him. We're going to have to figure that out. Because now we're going to have big fans feuding here. The millions and millions of listeners feuding over what was what. Let's see. I know we did an abrupt turn from part, but we haven't done an appropriate comparison of what made the movie so bad. And really, if the movie
everything.
If the movie stood alone, let's say there was no part 1 or 2, the movie would be authentically piss poor.
Yes.
The reason why it's so bad is because there was a part 1, and unfortunately for them, part 2 was still way better. Which really puts part 3 into perspective of it wasn't just a bad movie, but it shows that there was laziness on a lot of people's part because it was already crafted for them. They go and use Casey Jones, and they use him in that abusive way where it's like, hey, let's use the same things that made him likable in part 1. That whole little shtick. They use that thing, you know? The Casey Jones trope, let's abuse it in this. And they ruined it.
To me, this was all a big cash grab because none of this is interesting. None of this is fun. None of this is funny.
You know, like, what did I want to see? If you watch a movie with Ninja Turtles, it's called Ninja. Teenage, so if you bring your kids, you want something a little bit relatable for your kids. You want your kids to be able to at least nudge you and feel like, hey, cool, thanks for taking me, Mom, Pop. Nope, not this one. Mutant. So what's a mutant about them? I don't know, but it looked more animatronic. It looked more disturbing, and like I didn't want to be there. So that's out.
Yes.
Ninja, they hardly did anything ninja besides a few ninja kicks.
Yeah.
And those weren't really ninja kicks, like shitty karate things.
Yeah, no, that happened in
I guess the only part of this movie that was the only part of this movie that was true that whole held up was Turtles part.
Mutant or Ninja?
No, just the Turtles.
Teenage Turtles.
Because he used his little head and he escapes getting shot in the head, the cannon.
No, it's just not. It's not a good movie in general. But that's again, this is the Revenge of the Three. It's taking a gimmick, slapping it on a franchise, and making money.
But
and let's face it, this movie made double its budget.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. It's not good. Here's how I go. Okay. Ranking of the Turtles movies. Yeah. It goes part 1, part 2, the CGI movie, that's third. After that, it goes Turtles Out of the Shadow because that movie sucked.
Yeah.
But at least it had Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady, so that's kind of interesting. Then it goes.
But come on, let's admit it. They were trying to get us to come back.
They really were.
They really were there. Yeah.
And then the last two is Turtles in Time, and then the Michael Bay first Turtles movie.
Yeah.
Like I have to at least admit that this movie is not the bottom rung of the Turtles movies, but it's the second to bottom rung.
So what's the number one to you?
The best?
No, the worst. The bottom of the barrel Turtles.
The first Michael Bay one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, I'm like sadly part 2 was trying to redeem itself a little.
Yes, yeah.
That was
there
bad.
there were like these hopes for the part for Out of the Shadows, called Out of the Shadows, but it just was not. It was not hopeful. It was just nice. Wasn't great. Wasn't good. It was nice. End of story. All right. So, is there a challenge I can do out of this? A 10?
Yes, I did write down a thing, and I was like, so we didn't have any major actors from here.
We didn't.
So I did know a few. I remember the guy who played Casey Jones, but I can only remember like Haunting in Connecticut. I can remember like
I can remember about 5 of his.
Yeah, I can remember like a Thin Red Line. He was in.
I didn't know about that one. Shit.
He was also in the Prophecy movies.
Yep.
So it's
no, not part of movies. He was in the first one.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
just the first one. I thought maybe part 2.
No,
also.
he was in Defendor. He was in Harold and Kumar Part 3.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
He was in.
But we can't do 10 with him.
No, we can't do 10 with him. Give me somebody.
But I was thinking because out of all these movies, the most recognizable character was the voice actor, and it's still Corey Feldman.
Oh, you motherfucker!
So I was going to give you 10 Corey Feldman.
Oh, you motherfucker!
And if you don't get it, that's fine. I will settle for 7, a big 7 circled. But 10 is the goal.
Because you know what's funny? Whenever I think about a movie we're going to do, I actually do like kind of preamp in my head. I never go to IMDb, but I do kind of like practice in my head. So I did practice the actor that played Casey Jones. And I could do like 5 or 7 to him. I never went to Corey Feldman. Ooh, shit. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Gremlins, Stand By Me, Goonies.
That's 3.
Toxic Avenger Part 3.
Yep.
Was it Part 3 or Part 4?
No, that's 3.
Okay.
I think it was 3. Because I remember being more graphic. That's when it got me.
National Lampoon's Last Resort. That's 5. Ooh, Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. That's 6. License to Drive.
Okay.
That's 7.
You're missing some big ones here as a kid. He's a kid actor. Ooh. We're kids. Picture you and me.
I said Stand By Me already, didn't I?
No.
Stand By Me, 8.
Yep.
2 more. Fuck.
What?
The Burbs!
That wasn't slick. Well, actually, probably was because I didn't hear it.
Ooh, and Rockwell High School Forever.
I'll take it. Oh, you piece of shit.
Oh, and Rockwell High School. That's going to be on our show real soon.
Wait, that's only 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, you're right. I counted. You're right. 6 and then 4 on top of that. You're right. All right, fine. I was gonna say, for the major Corey Feldman fans out there, you really should have said that other one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the movie. Fuck.
No. I just thought that'd be a funny joke, but no, seriously. No, Lost Boys Part 3.
Oh shit! I didn't do any of the Lost Boys.
I know you're a piece of shit, but hey, who's counting?
All right, hold on.
Oh, License to Drive.
I said that.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't count that.
You piece of shit.
Right. Joe's at like 13.
I'm at like 20 or whatever.
Let's cancel this son of a bitch.
No, let's see how long we've been going. Sassy, did you have a good time watching this movie? Be honest.
It's better now. Talking about it,
Yeah.
It's like someone who survived like a car wreck. I didn't enjoy it, but
you were there.
now I'm glad I have friends to talk about it with. My horrible ordeal, who've also been through a car wreck with me.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Revenge of the Three will continue. We're not going to do 4 weeks, even though it's 4 weeks in a month.
You know what? I think what you do is start something because I have a lot of people who want to continue doing these, and there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of horrible 3s that we're not giving credit to. Horrible part 3s that are everywhere.
We can always bring them on, but for now, Revenge of the Three is just 3 movies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to announce the next one.
What's that?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is RoboCop 3.
Yes. Wouldn't that be crazy if it's just ladies listening to us, or just gentlemen? Or not even gentlemen at all. It's just creepers. Like, they're just fapping while listening to our voices.
I hope so.
They're like Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, guys.
JK.
Everybody have a good day. We're going to watch more bad movies next week with RoboCop 3. Later.